But we're going to do some gardening. So, I had a neighbor, and my neighbor's name was Curtis, and he was a big black Baptist pastor. And I went over there, and he came up from Florida from a trip, and I said, Curtis, what kind of tree is that or plant is that? And he says, oh, Steve, this is a banana plant. It's a banana herb. And I said, Curtis, is that going to grow in New Jersey? Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take this tree, and I'm going to leave it here in the summer and let the heat get to it. And then I'm going to put it in my sunroom and leave the degrees up to 75 degrees. I said, so Curtis, you sure this is going to work? He said, yeah, we're going to bear fruit with this. You'll be surprised. And Curtis has these great spirits, so I wasn't going to tell him to think that Steve knows everything. This ain't going to work. But I said, Curtis, that's great. Thank you for thinking of me to give me these fruit. So he takes it inside when it starts getting colder, and I go there in around Halloween or November to help him with something. And his sunroom's right in the front of the house. And you go in, and you see him, it's hot in there, 75 degrees. And I said, Curtis, this is not really bearing fruit. And he says, yeah, you can see it. You can see these things. And I said, well, I'm not really seeing anything. So he said, Curtis, he said, this will bear fruit. I'll have some by the winter and the spring for you. I'll give you some. I said, okay, Curtis. I said, this guy, he don't know what he's doing. He don't know how to garden. He's bringing something up from Florida. So then, in wintertime, I gave him his Christmas card or gift. Probably gave him a Mercedes, just drove it right over to him. Just kidding. So I probably gave him a Christmas card, and I went over there. I said, Curtis, this banana plant, is it really doing anything? He says, yeah, just give me to the spring and the summer. So I forgot about it once the weather started getting better. So I totally forgot. But when it started getting really hot, it reminded me, something hit into me. Where is this banana plant? The great gardener, Curtis. So I went over and I said, Curtis, while he was working in his yard, where's that banana plant? What'd you ever do with that banana plant? And he said, oh, Steve, it didn't work. I threw it away. So under my breath, because I know everything, I walked away and I said, I knew that wouldn't grow in New Jersey. I knew this plan wouldn't work. I didn't want to say Curtis and put him down because Curtis has these great spirits. He's a great man. But that didn't work. So he got rid of it. So this guy with the fig tree, the owner for 3 years, this is first century Palestine. He has figs and he wants to capitalize off of this. But they're not growing. How are you going to capitalize off a tree that's not growing? So he wants to get rid of it in this parable. He wants to get rid of the tree. Totally get rid of it. He's done with it. It's not giving him anything. First century Palestine. But a gardener says to him, give me 1 year. I will put manure on it. I will fertilize it. And I will get it to produce. But this owner wants to throw it away like Curtis wanted to throw that banana tree away. But the gardener said, give me 1 year. This gardener is God. This is the mercy God has. This is what Jesus is telling us in this parable. God has mercy to never give up on anybody. He gives us our last chance to repent, to get right. He gives us chance after chance. He doesn't give us 2 or 3 chances. He gives us chance after chance to repent. And that's what this parable is telling us. That he's going to keep giving us chances. Now, we as Christians have to realize that our God is so merciful. He gives us chance after chance and is so graceful. We have to be like that. We have to be merciful and give people chances and try to nurture to them. Now, society and some people like to give up on people and like to give up on certain groups of people. And we can't do that as Christians. We can't give up on anybody. We have to be merciful and we have to be graceful. Just like God. Not giving up on anybody. So, the handicap is one group. People give up on the handicap. They can't do this job because they're handicapped. That is not true. The handicap can do the job just as good and sometimes even better. Now, when I went to see Richard this week, Richard Slazinski, this man was amazing. He was bouncing like jumping beans. He just lost his leg, and he's telling the doctor I am going to be running by your coffee shop as soon as I get my prosthetic leg. Now, because someone planted the seeds, Flo and Debbie, and raked it in, Richard has the faith to excel in life. Richard's going to be all right. Because someone planted the seeds. I know you're going to hate me. Because someone planted the seeds, Flo and Deb, Richard's going to be just fine. He's going to be able to do the job, whatever the job he wants to do, and he'll be fine with that prosthetic leg. We cannot give up on the handicap. We have to plant the seeds like Debbie and Flo did for Richard, to give people faith to know the all-merciful one, the all-graceful one. We plant the seeds and we rake it in. People with special needs say, oh, they can't do it. No, we're not going to give them a chance. We're not going to give them a chance. People with special needs can do it. I know people that have autism they're so brilliant, that went through college, no problem at all, and are succeeding in life and living on their own. But society likes to give up on them. I know people with Down syndrome. I saw stories of people with Down syndrome that have graduated college and excelled and live on their own. So we can't give up on people with special needs, but we have to make sure that we let them know who the person is that gives them the gifts that they have, the giver of gifts. And so we plant the seeds, and we rake it in, real good, and we bring them to the Lord so they know who gave them the gifts that they have to succeed in life. The incarcerated, people out of jail, they get slapped with a felony, they can't really get a job. We can't give up on the incarcerated. A lot of people are transformed in jail, and people go into jail and change lives and transform people. We can't give up on them. We can't give up on people that are out of jail. We have to show them who God is. Teach them who God is. Teach them this one, as people do deserve second and third chances. God gives them chance after chance after chance to repent. Just like he's doing in this gardening story, the parable. He has given this tree another chance. We have to give the incarcerated and people out of jail another chance. So we plant the seeds and we rake it in and we teach them who the great God of chance and the merciful one is. And try to get them transformed. Alcoholics, drug addicts, people give up on them. Now sometimes you're going to have to play hard love with them. You're going to have to give them hard love. But we can't give up on the alcoholics and the drug addicts. We have to make sure that we try to nurture to them, get them in rehab, but we have to bring them to God. AA, NA, they do such a great job with these other programs. Most of them that I've known that got clean and sober, the reason they got clean and sober is because they found God. Step 3 in AA is to know God. They start introducing them to God. And people that get sober, people that get clean, I'm going to make a bold statement, but I believe God intervenes in their life and gets them clean. So we plant the seeds for them, and we rake it in. So they know who the one that can get them and transform them to sobriety and to get them clean. And that's why we plant the seeds for them. The youth. The youth is going wild. Really wild. So, well, the youth have always gone wild. But they've really gone wild. Teachers, if there's any teachers in here, I can't tell you thank you for all you do. But they can get disrespectful. They sometimes have been enabled, so they think they can do so. Kids can be tough, but we can't give up on our kids. We can never give up on our kids because they are the future of society, and they are the future of the church. We can never give up on our kids. God never gives up. With the parable, he does not give up on his church. God will not give up on our kids. And they can do stuff. We have to stop enabling them. As I was over at my sister's yesterday, my nephew, my 3-year-old nephew, 4-year-old nephew, we're doing a puzzle, and I'm trying to help him. He's slapping my hand. Slapping my hand. Because he wants to do it on his own. So we have to make sure, I'm glad he did that we let our kids do it on their own and stop enabling them. Because they can do it on their own. We have to give them a chance. And this will help them succeed in life. But we also have to plant the seeds. Gotta get some more seeds. Rake it in. Real good for Ryan. We plant the seeds and we rake it in. So they know the faith. They know the faith that God has to get them through trials and tribulations of their life that is going to come upon them throughout their life. We teach them who this graceful one is. We can't give up on the youth. The elderly. There's this term called ageism, which is a discrimination against all ages, but I see it mostly for older generations and the elderly. Now, I know a man worked 30 years with a company, and they got rid of him. They got rid of him, and they laid him off, and brought in a young kid who was more technological savvy, and paid him half the money. You cannot treat your employees like that. 30 years. That's not fair to people that are older. But we have to plant the seeds for them, and we have to rake it in so they know that no one discriminates against them. God doesn't discriminate against them. Others may discriminate against them, but God doesn't. And a lot of you, the elderly, you have this Social Security. Your Social Security keeps shrinking. It seems like year after year, they keep on taking your Social Security now. That's not fair. That's not fair. And in the future years, we won't even have Social Security. It's not fair at all, but we have to plant seeds to let the elderly know that rake it in. It's good. It's going to grow. We plant the seeds, we rake it in, so they will know what is fair. Because God is fair. The world is not fair, but God is fair. The elderly have to know that God is fair. All people have to know that God is the fair one. He's always, judgment is fair. He teaches us to repent. He gives us the last chance to repent. This is fair. This is merciful. Things that we don't deserve. The homeless, we can never give up on the homeless. This is my last one. My list could go on and on. I could be up here for an hour, but I'm not going to do that to you, unless you want me to. The homeless, I'm going to end with the homeless. The homeless, we cannot give up on. A lot of them feel like they're homeless, and they have mental problems, mental disorders, and they don't know any better. This is their environment. A lot of them are veterans. They don't know any better but to live on the streets. This is the environment they've been accustomed to. So we have to try to help them the best we can. Also, the homeless, we have to remember, have hit bottom. Some of them want to work. Since the recession hit, some people were living in their cars. They want to work, but there's no opportunity. We have to do the best we can to try to get them, but we have to teach them who the one that never gives up on them, who knows their ability. And some of the homeless are most of them I've come across are very educated people and can do a lot of good things for them. No one gives them a chance. We can't give up on them, so we plant the seeds to give them and break it in to make sure they know who the one that will never, ever, ever give up on them. So one of the best ceremonies I was ever at, or best worship service, was in Love Park in Philadelphia. It was an outside worship service. And when I was there, a homeless man, was getting his ashes for the first time. And when he got the ashes, he started bawling. And he says, although I have nothing, I know that God is with me each and every day. And that's what carries me on. Although I have nothing, I know God is with me each and every day. And that's what carries me on. Somebody planted the seed and raked it in for this man to have the faith to the size of a mountain, despite him living on the streets and having nothing. He still believes in God and doesn't blame God. We plant the seed, we rake it in. So we have to ask ourselves sometimes, are we being fruitful like this parable is saying? Are we being fruitful, or are we just wasting up soil like this fruit tree for 3 years? Are we just wasting up, basking in the sun, going to Cape May, spending all our money on ourselves, going to Aruba, spending all our money on ourselves, not helping anybody, not bringing anybody to the Lord? If so, that's okay. But God gives us always a chance to repent. This is what he's telling us in this parable. To repent. And to bring people to the Lord. To be right. And we can't just be wasting space. We have to be productive. We have to help others. And we also have to show our love. Because God doesn't give up on us. We give up on God. So we can't give up on anybody. We cannot give up on anybody. God doesn't give up on anybody. So we don't give up on anybody. Because we have to be merciful and graceful like God. And when we do that, we will be taking care of all God's children. And not leaving anyone out. And we won't be giving up on God, because God never, ever gives up on us. So be productive, plant some seeds, and rake it in. Amen.